Welcome to the Clean Slate Podcast, brought to you by CleaRank.com.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we're taking a closer look at a prop trading firm that's been generating some buzz, mainly because of its background, Blueberry funded.
Right. And we've got the detailed analysis right here from the CleaRank team, all based on our ClearScore methodology.
Exactly. Our mission today is to help you understand what Blueberry funded actually offers. We want to pinpoint their strengths based on the data we have.
And also really dig into where they might, fall a bit short. It's about giving you the clearest possible view.
Right. And we use our clear pillars for this: credibility, leverage, execution, accessibility, and regulation.
Accessibility is sort of woven throughout, isn't it, when we talk platforms, support, that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll focus a bit more directly on the other four pillars as key sections. Just to set the scene, the overall clear certification score for Blueberry funded came in at 4.7 out of 5.
Which is, a pretty solid score, especially considering they're maybe not one of the names you see constantly advertised everywhere.
Agreed. Let's start with the fundamentals, though. What is Blueberry funded, basically?
Okay, so at its core, Blueberry Funded is the proprietary trading firm arm of Blueberry Markets. And Blueberry Markets is, well, a pretty seasoned Forex broker.
And that connection, that backing by an established broker, that seems to be their immediate big selling point.
Absolutely. It means they're not just like a brand new company starting from scratch. They're built on top of existing regulated infrastructure.
And the CleaRank review highlights some key features right away. Funding potentially up to $1 million. No time limits on most of their challenges.
Which is a big one for many traders.
Definitely. Plus, fast payouts and the chance to get up to a 90% profit split eventually.
The review describes their approach as structured, fairly conservative, and definitely regulation conscious.
In the prop world right now, that focus on stability, on being above board, that's becoming more and more important, wouldn't you say?
It really is. Which leads us nicely into the first pillar, credibility and reputation. They scored a 4.8 here.
And what jumps out from the analysis is how much that score relies on the Blueberry Markets connection.
Yeah, the parent company is regulated by ASIC, that's the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, a major regulator.
So what does that mean practically? It suggests they're not just using some generic white label platform or just simulating everything.
Right. It implies they're likely running trades through real regulated broker systems. It's a different feel.
And our own internal analysis supports this. CleaRank's ClearCheck Broker Risk Scanner flagged Blueberry Markets as a top-tier regulated broker. That heritage adds significant weight.
It gives them a layer of trust right off the bat that many newer prop firms just, don't have.
Beyond that broker backing, the review found other evidence too, right? Things like payout proof.
Yes, they're quite transparent there. They actually show verified payout confirmations, like screenshots of transfers. You don't always get that level of detail.
And the community.
Huge Discord community. Over 27,000 members, and it seems genuinely active. Staff are in there interacting. Suggests real engagement. Plus, their rules, while strict in places, are laid out pretty clearly.
Okay, but the review does flag a negative point here, something that seems like a recurring theme. The fee refund.
Correct. You don't get your challenge fee back if you pass. It's basically the cost of applying win or lose.
But interestingly, the source analysis suggests this hasn't massively damaged trust, despite it being a negative.
Yeah, based on the sentiment they tracked, it seems traders weigh the broker backing more heavily, perhaps. But it is a factor.
So summing up credibility. Strong reputation for a newer firm, mostly thanks to the broker link, but they still need more time to build that long-term track record like the really established player.
Makes sense. History counts. Okay, let's shift to account types and fees. The score here was 4.6.
They definitely offer variety. The review lists, let's see, 1-step, 2-step, a faster rapid 7-day challenge, a stock challenge, and even a synthetic challenge.
That flexibility is a definite plus. It means different trading styles might find a challenge model that suits them.
And that stock challenge seems quite unique, trading over 1,000 U.S. stocks via CFDs.
Yeah, CFDs are contracts for difference, lets you trade price movements without owning the stock. And offering individual stocks in a prop challenge like this is, pretty rare in the current market.
It's a real differentiator. What about the cost to get started?
Affordability seems decent. The review mentions entry costs as low as $39 for a small 5-K challenge. Even the larger $100K accounts are around $499, which is, reasonably competitive.
So not breaking the bank up front. And there's a scaling plan, too.
Yes, built into all accounts, apparently. You can get a 25% capital increase every 3 months, potentially up to $2 million if you meet the criteria consistent results, multiple payouts.
Seems like a realistic path tied to actual performance. Okay, let's get real about the negatives listed for accounts and fees.
All right, first up, that fee refund issue again, it's gone. Win or lose.
Right. What else? Drawdowns.
Yes, drawdowns are highlighted as potentially quite tight, particularly on the one-step and the rapid models. You're looking at just a 3% daily loss limit.
3% daily. Wow, that is tight.
It is, and the overall or trailing drawdown on those is around 6% or 8%, depending on the model. Not much room for error.
And that 90% profit split we mentioned.
That's not the starting point. You begin at 80%. You have to earn the 90% by scaling your account successfully over time.
Got it. Anything else on the negative side here?
Just that the stock challenge, while cool, does have slightly higher profit targets. 10% in phase 1, 6% in phase 2, versus 8% and 5% on the standard two-step.
Okay, so lots of options, decent pricing, but you really need to watch those drawdown limits, understand the fee isn't coming back, and know how that profit split works.
Absolutely. Crucial details.
Let's move to trading conditions. Score here, 4.5. The general environment sounds good, raw spreads, fast execution.
Yeah. And flexibility across instruments, FX, indices, metals, crypto, stocks. Plus, they seem to avoid some of the really restrictive rules like forcing profit consistency targets or making you use copy trading.
That freedom is a big draw for many traders. But there are specific rules, and some sound quite strict. The news trading one.
Yes, this is critical. You cannot open or close trades 2 minutes before or after high-impact news releases.
2 minutes on either side. That's quite a window.
It is, and the review stresses this. Violate it, even on a funded account, and your profits for that period can be voided. That's a potential deal breaker for news traders.
Yeah, that definitely impacts certain strategies. And those daily loss limits again, the 3%.
The review called it potentially brutal. Quote, "One bad scalp and you're out." It demands extremely precise risk management.
Almost zero room for error, especially for scalpers or aggressive intraday styles on those specific accounts. What about leverage?
It varies a lot. 1.10 on FX for the main challenges, but it drops significantly for others. Only 1.3 on the rapid challenge and just 1.0 for the stock challenge.
Wow, 1.10 on stocks is quite low leverage. Means you need more capital per position. Weekend holding.
Allowed on most, but not on the rapid challenge. Another detail tied to the specific account type.
Okay, so some strict rules. But on the flip side, the pros seem strong too. No time pressure on most challenges. That's huge.
Massive relief for many, and that raw spread, low commission feel, the ECN style, suggests good pricing, likely thanks to routing through the main broker.
Plus the wide instrument range we talked about. FX, indices, metals, crypto, synthetics, those 1,000 plus stocks, that's impressive breadth.
And EA support on MT4, MT5 is available, plus no annoying profit consistency rules to worry about.
So it sounds like solid conditions overall if you can meticulously follow their rules, especially around news and daily drawdown.
Precisely. You need to know the rules inside out.
Let's look at platforms. Score, 4.7. They offer MT4, MT5, DX Trade, and Trade Locker. Seems like plenty of choice.
It is a good range, but here's the kicker from the review. You don't necessarily get to choose which platform you're assigned.
Oh, wait, hold on. You don't get to pick. How does that work?
It seems MT4 and AT5, the ones that support expert advisors, automated trading, are typically tied to specific challenges like the two-step or the stock challenge, and sometimes you even have to request them.
So DX Trade and Trade Locker might be the default for other challenges.
Often, yes. And crucially, the review states those are manual-only platforms, no EAs.
Okay, so if you're an algo trader relying on EAs, you have to be really careful which challenge you pick to ensure you get MT4 or MT5.
Exactly. That's a vital point. But a big positive, tying back to the broker connection. Execution on all platforms is routed through Blueberry Markets.
The regulated broker. So that should mean more solid order flow, better fills, potentially?
Generally, yes. And the review mentions specific test data from CleaRank's own Clear Execution Tracker.
What did the tests show?
Overall, pretty solid. MT4 and MT5 delivered sharp fills, minimal slippage, even during news. MT5 may be slightly better in volatility.
And the others? Trade Locker and DX Trade.
They performed decently, but with some quirks noted. Trade Locker sometimes showed chart lag during news or had issues on crypto pairs. And DX Trade is browser only.
Browser only, so no dedicated desktop app for DX Trade?
Correct. That can be a limitation for some traders.
Okay, let's recap the platform negatives then.
Yeah.
Fixed assignment means no guarantee of MT4, MT5, no EAs on Trade Locker DX Trade. Mobile experience varies, with MT5 generally better. DX trade is browser only, and potential spread spikes on crypto.
That about covers it. Options are good, execution seems solid thanks to the broker, but platform assignment and EA capability are key things to verify for your needs.
Makes sense. Let's talk payouts. Always important. Score, 4.7 for the payout process.
Described as straightforward and generally prompt. That's what you want to hear.
Frequency.
Bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. And speed is highlighted, usually processed in under 48 hours, often faster for crypto, the review notes.
And they show proof, like payout certificates.
Yes, they showcase those, which adds to transparency and confidence.
Good sign. Profit split starts at 80%, scales to 90%. We covered that. Withdrawal methods.
Primarily crypto Bitcoin, USDT, and RisePay. RisePay can sometimes cover things like deal or wire transfers, depending on location. Importantly, no internal withdrawal fees charged by Blueberry funded.
Okay, so what are the listed downsides or things to be aware of with payouts?
Well, that starting 80% split is mentioned again. Some competitors do start higher, at 85% or even 90%.
Right, you have to earn the top tier.
Exactly. Also, that fee refund, it's not officially guaranteed. Some traders might get it as a credit on their first payout, but it's not a firm policy like elsewhere.
Anything else? Minimum withdrawal?
Yes, $100 minimum withdrawal threshold, so you need at least that much profit to cash out.
And the scaling. Up to $2 million sounds great, but
The review noted the exact path or metrics to get to the $2 million cap aren't always super explicitly detailed. You know it's possible, but the precise steps might be less clear.
and a practical point. Weekend lag. Request a payout Friday afternoon.
You're likely waiting until Monday for processing to start, even with crypto. Standard business hour supply.
Fair enough. Sounds like generally prompt payouts. Just be aware of the starting split, minimums, and timing.
Pretty much.
Last section. Customer support. Score, 4.6. The big positive here seems to be the human touch.
Yes. The review really emphasizes this. You get actual human agents responding, not just bots firing off templates. That's seen as a big plus.
Where can you reach them?
Email, live chat during their active hours, and that very large active Discord community again. The review called the Discord their most underrated tool for getting help, as staff seem quite active there.
What about response times? Did CleaRank test that?
Yes. Tests showed email replies usually within 4-6 hours, which is decent. Live chat was quick during operating hours.
Sounds pretty good for a prop firm. What about the negatives for support?
The main thing is it's not 24/7. And no weekend coverage. So if you hit a snag late Friday, you're waiting until Monday.
Also, English-only support.
Yes, that's a key limitation. Could be frustrating for non-English speakers, especially since the review noted a significant user base in places like India.
Yeah, that's a potential barrier for a global firm. Anything else?
The FAQ section on their site is described as fairly basic. Doesn't go into super deep detail on real nuances or offer video guides. You'll likely need to contact support directly for complex questions.
Okay, so responsive human support when available is a definite win, but the limited hours and language are factors to consider.
Definitely.
All right, let's pull this all together. Based on this CleaRank review and the CLEAR methodology, who does the data suggest Blueberry funded might be a really good fit for?
Looking at the whole picture, it seems strong for traders outside those restricted countries, US, Australia, UAE, who really prioritize that stability and legitimacy that comes from being backed by a regulated broker.
Right, if that's your main concern.
Yeah. And if you're okay with potentially tighter drawdowns on certain accounts, you can religiously follow that news trading rule, and you value a realistic scaling plan with solid execution. They look like a very solid choice.
And especially if you want to trade U.S. stocks in a prop challenge, right?
Absolutely. That stock challenge is a unique offering.
Okay, so conversely, who might need to keep looking based on this analysis?
Well, obviously traders in the US, Australia, UAE. Also, anyone whose main strategy involves trading right around high-impact news, that strict rule is likely a non-starter. You risk voiding profits.
Makes sense. Who else?
Traders needing 24/7 support or support in languages other than English, and anyone who absolutely wants a guaranteed fee refund upon passing the challenge. Those are limitations here.
So it really boils down to matching their specific conditions and rules to your own trading style and priorities. The stability seems real, but it comes with certain trade-offs.
Exactly. You have to weigh those factors.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to consider. Given Blueberry Funded's foundation, that regulated broker backing, the conservative approach, does this signal a wider shift in the prop industry? A move towards needing more stability, real infrastructure, maybe less reliance on pure simulation?
Or, on the flip side, do the stricter rules, like the news trading one and the lack of a fee refund. Do those represent trade-offs that might push some traders back towards firms with maybe looser rules, even if their backing isn't as solid?
It's a really interesting question, isn't it? It forces you to think about what you value more, that potential underlying stability, or maybe more flexibility in rules and fees elsewhere.
Definitely not a simple answer. There's no one-size-fits-all prop firm.
And that's precisely why looking at objective data, like we've done today using the CleaRank Clear Score methodology, is so vital for understanding a firm like Blueberry Funded.
We absolutely encourage you to visit clearrank.com. You can read the full, detailed review yourself, compare Blueberry Funded side by side with other prop firms using the same ClearRank framework.
And use our tools, like the ClearTech Broker Risk Scanner, to help you make genuinely informed decisions about where you trade.
Don't trust your trading journey to hype. Trust it to data. Head to clearrank.com today.